Buonasera e benvenuti a tutti. Welcome along to the Monza combined historic variation of the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza for this round of the Only Hands GR86 season in association with Tanso Racing Group. My name's Alex Goldschmidt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by my man stateside, Jim Cunningham, as we are going to take you around a fast and exciting two races tonight as we're going to be going around this 10-kilometre circuit. Yes, this variation, no chicanes, ran until 1965, but still very much a firm favourite on the calendar. Lap times are around about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And Jim, to be honest with you, we're going to probably have the best part of 20 cars here tonight, but it should be a fantastic trip around the historic park of Monza.
Yes, I love this. I love this layout. I get very excited for it, as I was telling you pre-race. This is some of my favorite broadcasts of the year. Whenever I do anything here at the Old Classic layout, and these Toyota GR86s ought to provide a entertaining race because they are so draft dependent, and this version of this track is all about draft. So we should have a blast.
So we're coming into the final throes of qualifying here at the Monza historic. No chicane, so it is going to be pretty much pedal to the metal all the way around this historic circuit. Of course, the Curva Grande, Curva della Roggia, the iconic Lesmos. It's Daniel Wareham that is currently leading at the moment by about 2 and a bit tenths of a second ahead of Dan Forster. Simon McPhee, Matt Benson, Rick Wishon, Joseph Lopez, Victor Timothy round out the top 7. They're covered by just over 1.2 seconds at the moment. No lap times yet from the likes of Curtis Matthews, Michael Chaplin, Connor Pink, Terry Atkinson, Ryan Dudley, and Alan McCain. But of course, the championships are very, very close. We've got this, and then we've got one more round to go until the round at Shell V Power Motorsport Park at the Bend in Western Australia. As we keep our eyes on Daniel Wareham, he is the fastest at the moment, and he's also, in terms of the pro standings, the leader in the championship at the moment with 330 points. Quite a bit ahead of Dan Forster, the best part of 36 points there. Lee Martin, Cameron Frederick, Ryan Dudley, Matt Benson, Rick Wishon, and Sean Atkinson round out the top 8 in the pro standings. Then we go to AMS. It's Jake DeGrand, Simon McPhee, Egolf Satiro, JT Johnson, Icky Dolan, Joseph Lopez, Connor Pink, Curtis Matthews, Adrian Hadfield, and Terry Atkinson that round out the field that have already scored points. 117 rounding out those drivers there. But we are at 10 minutes, and Daniel Wareham is going to put it on pole for the opening of two races, a 20-minute, and then a 25-minute race. So Daniel Wareham and Dan Forster line up on the front row of the grid. Simon McPhee and Victor Timothy ran out row 2. Matt Benson will be joined by OGRL's Rick Wishon on row 3. Connor Pink and Sean Atkinson row 4, with Joseph Lopez and Adrian Hadfield rounding out your top 10. Then it's Lee Martin, Egolf Satiro, the driver from Brazil, in 12th, ahead of Curtis Matthews, John Johnston, Alan McCain, and we've got Ryan Dudley, Michael Chaplin, and Terry Atkinson. The latter 4 drivers not having set a lap around this 6.2 mile circuit. Yes, quite a lot longer than the generic 3.6 mile circuit that we see for the Italian Grand Prix in the latter part of every summer. We're just waiting for a few more drivers. It is going to be a standing start. And one of the things I love about this circuit here, Jim, is the fact that we are going to have full throttle Toyota GR86 car action, and it's going to be non-stop seeing who's going to be the bravest of the brave.
Yeah, indeed. And for those of you that have not seen the classic layout here, after we do a few laps, you'll certainly wrap your head around how this track is laid out. It's up there, help a little bit. But the straightaway here, the front straight, which would normally is now split. So you'll see here, and it getting ready to go green.
So the 5 red lights here at Autodromo Nazionale di Monza are out. We're underway. It's time to head down the main straightaway, the Rettiflio Tribune, and then into Curva Grande. Dan Forster closing in right on the back bumper of Daniel Wareham. Now the slipstream is going to start taking some kind of effect as we're actually going to be using the oval section first, and then they're going to do the old crisscross, nearly 3 wide. Battling away for P4. It is 3 wide. Heavens to Betsy, they're going to be pushing the best part of over 120 miles an hour. 3 wide. This is where the slipstreaming is going to come into effect. I think you might even have 4 wide coming out of the oval for the first time down the backstretch of the oval section, heading into Tropoleveta Sud, which is then going to bring us on to the crisscross section here. So 20 minutes, and Dan Forster is looking very menacing up the inside of Wareham and McPhee. McPhee has got the lead.
Look at this mess.
Oh my, it's like the pack at Daytona.
It is.
Old school.
It is.
Like 3 wide at the front of the race lead, 4 wide in the mid pack.
Yeah.
Atkinson now leads as they've got a little bit of a bump to deal with. Onto the main start finish, straight down the Rettiflio Tribune.
Oh no, we got
2 into the wall. Rick Wisher's one of them. And I think Victor Timothy, the Romanian driver, also has ended up off the circuit.
Oh, they're still spinning.
Oh dear. No. It's the big one here at Monza.
Oh my goodness.
The Italian today. Oh my goodness. And Matt Benson is leading the field. Then you've got Dan Forster. He's got Sean Atkinson to the outside as they head to Curva della Roggia. Rather than it being a chicane, it's going to be a literally straight on.
Oh!
And oh no! Another big incident. Daniel Wareham involved. There are multiple cars. Dan Forster, Simon McPhee, even Sean Atkinson has gone straight off at the first Lesmo. It's carnage here at Monza, and Matt Benson from 5th on the grid is leading. Sean Atkinson up from 8th on the grid. He's quite a way back.
Still spinning back there.
Seconds. And that's Dan Forster. Oh no, that's
Foster.
The Brazilian. Oh, Gordon Bennett.
We just lost the whole field on the first lap.
Oh.
Gosh. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go back and try to find some of this action here. Oh, well, hold on. I got it on slow motion.
This is
slow motion, maybe. Yeah, this is the later part. Hold on. Let me go back.
Yeah, it's just literally one pinball, bang, 3 other. Oh, it's Skittles. It's like Paul Newman and Tom Cruise. Oh, whoa. Now that was completely unsighted. Ryan Dudley got T-boned there, big time.
Yes.
He's still managed to keep going, and he's up 10 spots from 16th on the grid. So we've got Wareham, McPhee, Wishon, Pink, Matthews, Johnston, Atkinson. They are all in pit lane. And at the moment, Michael Champlin, the man from the States, in the 220, he's up 13 spots, but he's going to come into pit lane. Well, no, that's actually Victor Timothy that's coming to pit lane, but Michael Champlin up 13 spots from the penultimate spot on the grid, and he's on course for a potential podium. He's now closing in on...
Egg off Satiro.
Yes, Satiro, who's going to be might be a little bit of a sitting duck at the moment, but I cannot believe what we've just witnessed there, Jim. I mean, coming down onto the straight away, that was the first incident with Rick Wishon doing his best Travis Pastrana impersonation.
That was
that was a classic. Then he ended up into pit lane.
Right, this is McCain here. And then he comes across. Oh my gosh.
It's like missiles missing their target, isn't it? I mean, at the moment, Matt Benson, is leading. He's 6.5 seconds up the road from Sean Atkinson. Michael Champlin up now 14 spots, and Joseph Lopez, good old Dachshund lover.
Yes,
his GRX has seen better days.
The Zoomies car lost its Zoomies right there. All right,
got zoomed off the track.
I'm gonna jump back to live up here. We got a decent little battle going on back here, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be Satiro versus Champlin. That is the battle for P3 on the road, and Champlin might get the run going through the Curva Grande. at this moment in time. So this is going to be at high speed, probably the best part of 90 miles an hour. And these cars are pretty much based on the production vehicle, currently run along with GT World Challenge Americas, powered by AWS, as part of the Toyota GR86 Cup. And this is just how quickly things can go awry when you throw the classic variation of Monza into the mix. And look at all the gravel that has been left on the circuit. It's incredible. But Benson leads, Atkinson 6.5 seconds behind. But this is the closest battle we've got at the moment. I'm just seeing John Johnston is still in pit lane. That car, I don't think, is going to be taking any further participation. Good evening to Lynn Turner, cheering on Sean Atkinson, I would believe.
Yeah, that's her. That's her husband, I believe.
Yeah,
partner, something. Yeah. What a mess, though.
I know.
Lynn, what'd you? Can we restart the race? Right?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the thing was, I was waiting for something to happen. I mean, you and I were talking before we were going on air, Jim, that I was thinking that the oval was going to be the biggest problem.
Yeah, no, it never is. The last time I did a race here, I was exactly the same way. I was just waiting for something to happen on the oval, and it didn't. It happened on the straightaways.
So at the moment, we do still have we do have quite a few battles actually happening. Closest battle apart from second and third now is going to be the battle for 9th and 10th. That is between Alan McCain and Victor Timothy at the moment, as they are making their way through into the straight line here at Curva della Roggia. So past the arrow markers on the circuit, through into the first of the two Lesmos. Got to be very, very careful on that. So
one of the things that is not fun about broadcasting from this track is they don't really have any good cameras, because it's, I guess it was an unused circuit for so long or whatever. The cameras here are just not very good at all. We're so used to having all our great camera angles that we normally have, and you just don't have that here. But other than that, I mean, you got to love this place.
Yeah, indeed. John Johnson is the one that's been asking you.
Yeah, let's restart it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's not down to us. We're just broadcasting things. So,
right,
John, I know who you need to contact on that one. So, but I mean, at the meantime, it is just the case that everyone apart from John is currently running out on the circuit. So we do have 17 of the 18 starters, but there's Joseph Lopez.
Yeah, that was an accidental click. That was a finger twitch, but I'll give you a second before I go back.
Well, second, third, and fourth really starting to heat up, as Sean Atkinson being closed in on by Egolf Sotiro and Michael Champlin. And again, this battle here.
Well, he just got by him while I was jerking around with the camera there.
So a nice little move going into the...
yeah, that was.
The oval.
That was a really nice pass. In fact, I'm going to go back and take another look at that real quick, since I missed it when I had my accidental finger click there. Oh, he just took him straight down the straightaway, drafted him, and just passed him before they head into the oval.
Yes, indeed. So,
talk about the Daytona pack racing that we witnessed on the first lap. The only difference is that track is wide enough for 4 or 5 cars. This one's wide enough for about 2, and this one is probably in excess of 100 years old, I would guess, or somewhere. It's got to be somewhere right in that vicinity, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know when the oval had to be built in like the 20s or 30s or something.
It's kind of in the same vein as Brooklands Motor Speedway in the United Kingdom, which now hosts Mercedes-Benz World. So you're seeing this battle here. This is for second, third, and fourth. So Sean Atkinson, Egolf Sotiro, and Michael Champlin are closing in on each other. So this is going to be a 3-horse race here as they go through the banking. Champlin really picking up the pace. He's just put in the fastest lap of 3 minute 8.5. And we are past half time, running on board with Michael Champlin in the 220, up from 17th now into the 4th position as Atkinson is being closed in. Champlin's getting a double toe. They're going down the back stretch and towards the outside. Sotiro and Champlin will get through on Atkinson in the 386. And now they're going to head down and do the crossover onto the Rettifilo straightaway. So, unlike what we normally see in the modern circuit, where you have the Variante Rettifilo, which is the first 2 turns on the circuit, is now Sotiro just trying to keep Champlin at bay. Champlin just drafting him Xfinity style here at the moment down the main straightaway, over 120 plus miles an hour. And there is going to be an opportunity, I think, that if Atkinson is coming back at them, so literally it's less than a tenth covering these 3 drivers into Curva Grande. They go. Atkinson has got the inside line. Champlin on the outside, hung out to dry. Sotiro has also been passed. So Atkinson retakes 2nd position, but they've got to be very, very careful going through the Curva della Roggia as Atkinson weeps to the outside, cuts off the nose of Sotiro. Champlin staying in check. And more to the point, another new fastest lap by the 220. Another 3 minute 8.5, a 3 minute 8.543. Speeds approaching about 140 plus miles an hour. And you can see here, this is going to be a very, very fast part of the circuit. They're going to be heading into what we normally say is Variante Ascari, but it's Curva del Vialone, which is a left-hand kink. So you'll see here, 120 miles an hour. They are going to dip in. It looks like it's not quite the Ascari variation, but it is quite close. And then it's going to be going into Parabolica, which nowadays has been named after the late ex-F1 and ex-LMP driver for Audi and Ferrari, Michele Alboreto. So they go through Parabolica, and then it's going to be back onto the oval circuit variation once again. And Atkinson now pulling a little bit of a gap between himself, with Sotiro being hustled. His Champlin's all over his back bumper like a rash.
Go back here to this one again. These guys are still going at it every lap. They've been passing each other back and forth. What a great little battle they're having back there.
Yeah, that's Victor Timothy and Alan McCain still battling away. They're going through Curva Grande. McCain at over 125 miles an hour in 6th gear. Flips it to the outside. He's going to keep the throttle pinned. So Timothy at the moment as they go through into Curva della Roggia. 128, 131 as they go over the little yomp. And still this battle for P13. What have we seen, Jim?
We had a little incident here, it looks like. Let me know if I can find my mouse. There we go. Looks like it's Ryan Dudley here.
Well, that's going to be second part of Ascari on the sausage curbs off the circuit.
Oh, hang on to it.
Going nowhere. No, that front end's a mess.
Yeah, that was not good. Dan Foster just entered pit lane. Or was that just a misreading because he was tied?
Well, Egolf Sotiro's now. They might have just look at this. Egolf Sotiro's now got the.
Look at this!
Oh no! Champlin rubbing panels with Atkinson, and on the back bumper as Sotiro goes, the 220 from the USA. Atkinson, UK, Sotiro from Brazil. So we've got North America, South America, and the United Kingdom in a three-way battle here at 130 plus miles an hour through Curva Grande, now into Curva della Roggia. Who's going to be the bravest of the 3 of them? It's going to be Atkinson again. Look, he took the curbing on the left-hand side.
Yes.
A little bit of ride from the suspension, settled the car down nicely, and he picks it up nicely for the first of the 2 Lesmos going from 130 in 6th to around about 80 miles an hour in 4th. Turns it in nice and neat as you like.
I tell you what, I don't think people appreciate how hard it is to take the curbing in these little bouncy cars like this. They can get out of control on you really fast.
Yeah, and because they are production-based vehicles, we've got a great battle here. This is for 8th and 9th. Adrian Hadfield versus Rick Wishon as they're going through the banking. And then they're going to make their way down the Rettifilio. This is
a more elevated view of this. Yeah, this is. I'll tell you what, they're flying right here, of course, and drafting. That's certainly helping keep the speed up.
Yeah. So this is just going to be very, very crucial for these drivers. Still, we've got about 4 minutes to go, so we might get a couple of laps in if we're lucky. So it's just dependent on how our leaders are getting on at the moment. But you can just hear these engines just completely being revved to the limiter. But at the moment, yeah, we're probably going to have 2 more laps to go, because Matt Benson, who did have a lead of about 6 or 6.5 seconds, that advantage has come down to about 4 seconds as Sean Atkinson has now started to really start turning up the wicks. But here goes Egolf Satiro from Brazil. He's going to go alongside him down the back straight of the oval section here at Monza Historic at over 134, well, 134 indicated on the speedometer. That's close to 220 kilometers an hour. They go into the banking. That's going to bring them through into Sobralibeta Sud. And then it is going to bring them onto the Rettifilio straight away here at Monza. Champlin is still waiting in the wings. Atkinson has got his nose ahead round the outside of the banking. That is incredible commitment from all 3 drivers. They have been whistle clean for their battling. But there has been a little bit of rubbing. Rubbing's racing.
It is. Especially if you're a stock car fan.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Satiro around and backwards, right-hand side, hits the barriers.
Oh!
And then the Brazilian pinballs. That back end's a complete and utter mess.
Yeah, he blew that one up for sure. Wow, let's see what happened with that from a chopper shot.
I think there's going to be the slightest of glances. Yeah, look.
Yeah,
it's the slightest touch. I mean, let's not forget these cars are rear-wheel drive, front engine, so there's going to be less weight on the back of the car, apart from the downforce that the rear wing's meant to generate.
Yeah, and they're quite squirrely anyway. These little cars are kind of all over the place. They got really soft suspension, and they have a lot of body roll in them and stuff. It's not hard to get one out of shape for sure. Yeah,
so Matt Benson still leading the way. He's leading by about 3.5 seconds. Back we go to the battle for 8th and 9th. Adrian Hadfield and Rick Wishon, also Victor Timothy and Alan McCain are still battling away over 12th position. So these 2 drivers thunder their way through the banking at 6th gear, full throttle, 130 plus miles an hour.
I just want to see where our leader is. This is the final lap, right? Or we got one more? Maybe. No, I don't think so.
I think we're probably going to have one more because, yeah, there'll be more than enough time for them to, well, there'll be more than enough time for Matt Benson to come round the final corner. So they're going to come through out of Curva Parabolica. So one more lap. So white flag in the air for Matt Benson. Started 5th on the grid and is leading by about 3.7 seconds from Sean Atkinson, who's got Michael Champlin, the man who's had the biggest moves up the order tonight, 14 places from 17th on the grid. Rick Wishon going through behind Adrian Hadfield as they head through into the first of the 2 Lesmos after negotiating their way rather cleanly through Curva della Roggia. And then still you've got all that kitty litter debris, all that gravel that has been kicked up left, right and centre through the 2 Lesmos, but they're going to be heading into the Del Vialone location, which effectively still got a little hint of Ascari as someone's kicked up the grass a little bit further ahead of them. But Champlin has got through on Atkinson. Meantime, Timothy has got through on McCain. There it is, Champlin versus Atkinson. They are side by side down the back straight of the banking on lap number 7. Oh,
This is
that was going to
great.
be a clash of paddles again between the pair. They are going to come flying out, and then it's going to be down the run through the Retifidio Tribune. So with the grandstand on the left-hand side of the circuit, Atkinson noses ahead of Champlin as they're going to go over this little bump at over 125 miles an hour. So Champlin goes back up into 5th, now starts to use the toe. This is where he might be able to catch a little bit of a break here.
Bump draft there. So he says his number is 220, but that sure looks like 520 to me.
Yeah, well, it's definitely 220 because of the designation of the classes, I would have thought. So.
Oh yeah, probably so. Yeah.
It might be an area code. You never know.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh! He had a little bit of a touch with Atkinson, who had a bit of a wobble, and now through into Cover della Roggia. Atkinson's going to have the inside line for the first of the 2 Lesmos, but Champlin keeps it planted in front. That was neat from the 220 to keep it where he did on that first of those 2 Lesmos. Cuts the nose off Atkinson, then goes on to the AstroTurf runoff. 2 wheels on track, so still within track limits, but Matt Benson
I don't want to miss him. Yeah, I don't want to miss him crossing the finish line either, though.
So 20 minutes have elapsed. We are on the final throws of race 1 out of 2. Champlin finally gets the job done on Atkinson. Still gets very close to the sausage curves. He runs a little bit wide out of Violoni. Oh, it's
oh no!
Champlin is not going to make the finish.
The
right front is absolutely destroyed. Wheel is absolutely crumpled by the wheel arch. The upright, the suspension, he's still going to try and keep it going, but that is not going to turn anywhere.
No, that's not.
Michael Champlin's race comes to an abrupt end, but out of the final corner, it is going to be Matt Benson that is going to pick up the win in a very dramatic early part of the race for race 1 here at Monza Historic. Matt Benson from Valhalla Motorsports started 5th, picks up the win here at Monza Historic. Sean Atkinson will finish 2nd. Alan McCain gets through on Terry Atkinson. And there goes Victor Timothy as well, trying to get through.
I'm not sure this is over with yet.
No, I think, did Michael Champlin make it across the line? He might have done.
I think he just did. Yes, he did. He finished 3rd. He managed to stay 3rd.
1.4 seconds ahead of Agostino. Dan Forster, due to finish, has just finished now in 5th. Daniel Wareham is going to finish a little bit further back in 6th position. Started on pole. Then it's going to be the likes of, Rick Wishen has got through finally on Adrian Hadfield. So those 2 have been battling like the clappers. Lee Martin is going to take 7th very shortly. So Rick Wishen and Adrian Hadfield, they're going to come through Cover Parabolica for the last time here on lap 7. Runs a little wide. Stay away from that kitty litter, Rick.
Looks like he's going to hold on there. Let's go back here. Like I said, I'm not too sure that these guys are done just yet. They may be.
They're coming down the run out of Violoni down into Parabolica for the final time, and Timothy trying to get through on Alan McCain. Can he get the run coming out of Parabolica and then down the final stretch? I don't think that's going to be possible. He might get the run here. He's going to pull to the left-hand side. So will Timothy get the run? No, not quite. Loses out by 54 thousandths of a second. And on the final lap, Alan McCain takes the fastest lap of the race. 3 minutes 7, 3:06. The only driver to manage that as well. So well done to Alan McCain. Curtis Matthews had a slight off track in the final throws of this race, but well, what could you say? Matt Benson takes the win.
This was
let's have a look.
This was everything that we that I hoped it would be.
And oh, Curtis.
Curtis,
Oh, he's gonna.
you're a dog breeder. You don't need to be out there in that kitty litter.
Yeah,
Okay.
they'd say you're a traitor if that was the case.
Exactly. And he is a dog breeder too. That's the funny part. All right, so let's see if we can get some results here now. I think finally, yeah, I think they're up.
Yeah, well, it was Matt Benson that took the victory in after 7 laps by just over 10 seconds ahead of Sean Atkinson, Michael Champlin, Egolf Satiro running out the top 4. Champlin very, very lucky after contact coming out of the yellow with Atkinson. That was a, as we would like to say in the UK, a squeaky bum time moment right there for the man from the States in the 220. Egolf Satiro, Dan Forster ran at your top 5 ahead of Daniel Wareham, Lee Martin, Rick Wishon, Adrian Hadfield, and Connor Pink completes your top 10 ahead of Alan McCain. Victor Timothy, then Terry Atkinson, Simon McPhee, Curtis Matthews, Joseph Lopez being the last of the classified finishes, 2.5 minutes off of the race winner. Ryan Dudley retiring with 3 laps to go, and John Johnston didn't really get past lap number 1. We have got a 25-minute race coming up very, very shortly around this 10-kilometer, 6.2 mile circuit. We're just going through the warm-up side of things. As
Well, he's straightening his front end out.
well, he yeah, he definitely gave it a Kardashian nose job right there in the pit lane. I think he's trying to get ready for his celebratory donuts after the race has been concluded.
He's practicing. That's good. Apparently, he's entertaining himself, and he's the only car on track. Yeah, this is this race was everything I hoped it would be. But I mean, I love the fact that you get these 4-car battles that are 0.2 of a second apart, and they'll run for 6 or 8 laps like that if they don't wreck. This is such an interesting circuit. It's just fun.
Yeah, and it's brings back the old days of when motorsport was a bit more avant-garde, let's say, less of the safety side of things being considered. But now, the way that modern motorsport is, there is still that element of for danger, but not as what it was way back when. But the good thing is with sim racing, you don't have to worry about invoices, so that's always good. As soon as you get the car back in the pit lane, at least you can get it repaired and not having to worry about a multi-digit invoice coming your way.
It's all true. What do we got? 2.5 about 2 minutes left or so. Oh no, this is 5 minutes. Graphics are too small for my old eyes to see. It happens. Yeah, this has been such fun. I'm so glad they put this on the schedule. I'm sure those guys that got caught up in that lap 1 incident probably don't think so.
They're probably having a little bit of a mother's meeting about it at the moment. Just
maybe,
like saying,
I don't know. Maybe
like saying, okay, guys, we're racing, but let's not try and pinball each other. Like it's not like when you go to the local bowling alley and you think, yeah, first ball that I roll down, I'm going to get a strike. I think we got multiple strikes down before we hit the oval first time.
Yes. When they hit the final straight coming out of Parabolica there, that was it all went downhill from there.
Yeah, it's it went down well like a cold sack of potatoes that you need to pick up again. But we are coming to the end of this 5-minute warm up, so it is going to be 2 races. I think is there an invert like top 10 invert? Or
there is
an
invert. I believe it's the top 10. To be honest with you, I'm just reading that message that you sent me to figure out what that.
Yeah, just basically we will need to change sessions because they will be moving on very, very shortly to the 25-minute race, and then we'll see how many of the 18 cars make it to the end of the 25-minute race. So 2 races in total, and then it's the Bend Motorsports Park that will be hosting the next round next week, which I believe is the final round on this particular calendar for the only hands side of things. So Matt Benson is going to be, looks like it's going to be the top 12. So 12th position finisher. Victor Timothy is going to be starting from pole position very shortly, I would imagine. So we are just waiting for the. So Victor Timothy is going to be starting on the front row of the grid ahead of Alan McCain. Donna Pink and Adrian Hadfield will be on row 2. Rick Wishen and Lee Martin will be on row 3. Ahead of Daniel Wareham and Dan Forster. Egolf Satiro, Michael Champlin, Sean Atkinson and Matt Benson will be completing the top 12. And then we've got Terry Atkinson, Simon McPhee, Curtis Matthews, Joseph Lopez, Ryan Dudley and John Johnston. They will be lining up for the 18 strong that will be on this grid. So the lights have come on, and they think, well,
Right.
too sure what's happening.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this other session they're talking about, but nobody jumped to the session. All right, well, bear with me here, folks. I'm gonna shut this down and jump to a new session, I guess. I apologize for that. Oh, I think we're here finally.
Okay, well, thank you for bearing with us, ladies and gentlemen, because we are very shortly going to be starting with the next race. So it is going to be a inverted field. So it will be 25 minutes of this this Only Hands GR86 Challenge Cup in association with Tanso Racing Group. So your grid should be showing up on the screens as you see there at the moment. I think it was it's going to be actually a little bit of a different invert. So got Alan McCain and Connor Pinks, well, starting on the front row of the grid. Simon McPhee, Joseph Lopez, Sean Atkinson, Lee Martin, Curtis Matthews, Egolf Satira and Victor Timothy. But you know what? Jim. I think let's let the racing do the talking.
Yes,
shall
I
we?
agree.
So, well, once everyone is up on the grid, we'll be getting the red lights showing right now. As firstly, the 5 red lights are on. 5 red lights go out. Lots of wheel spin as we're underway for 25 minutes. And the leaders now make their way down towards the first part of the oval. Again, we could see a bit of scrapping like we saw earlier on. The oval is where everyone's able to keep it nicely pinned as things stand, but the driver's now trying to go 3 wide early again.
Shocking.
Not at all surprising. Dan Forster looking for a possible opportunity. He's got Alan McCain on the inside. He's got through for second. McCain might get the toe here, the side draft. 3 wide down the back stretch we go at the oval. They are fanning out. It's pack racing at its finest. They've got to be very, very careful on the approach down into the next corner.
Look
onto
at
the
this.
banking. At least 35 degrees at the top part of it. It's 31 at the World Centre of Speed, Daytona International Speedway, at the tri-oval that hosts the Daytona 500. But look, we are nearly
4
5
wide.
wide. Oh my goodness me! And now they've got the bump to contend with. Careful!
And there they go.
Straight away, it's Pinball City. Oh my goodness! In the words of Roger Daltrey, they sure know how to play a mean pinball. Oh, it was all a case of everyone trying to squeeze into the same part of real estate. Rick Wishon, Connor Pink, Curtis Matthews, Simon McPhee, Adrian Hadfield, Igor Sotiro, all in pit lane. Well, look, nearly 5 wide for the lead. Okay, now here's where the squeezing starts, and yes. You hit a wall, I pinball off it. You hit a wall, I hit you. Bang, bang, bang. There we go. Half the field are in the pits. Daniel Wareham in the pits. Rick Wishon, Brian Dudley, Connor Pink, Curtis Matthews, Simon McPhee, Egor Sotiro, and Adrian Hadfield. So at the moment, well,
Oh, we got more damage.
That's got a car that is not going to steer right.
That's not going to go well at all.
Now, who's leading? Is it? It's
Matt Benson again. Yes, Benson again.
Me. He has had the best amount of luck possible tonight. Let's see. John Johnston has made up 11 places from 17th on the grid. Now currently runs P6.
All right, I think this is. Hold on. Let's see. I think. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm going to click. I think I've got more. Different part of the Rex here.
Oh, okay. We'll go ahead.
No, we don't. We don't. This is still part of that.
But this, it was Rick Wishon that got caught up in the middle of it all. He got turned around first, and then it kind of reminds me, what was it? The Portuguese Grand Prix 2020 when Romain Grosjean completely mistimed the restart.
Oh.
Ryan Dudley's on his roof. Someone else in the back, someone else in front of him was also on his roof as well. So 2 cars. Ryan Dudley actually got out of pit lane quickest than anybody else. Daniel Wareham is now back. I'm not too sure if they're going to continue, but
let's see.
Ryan Dudley
is
on his roof.
It all happens so fast. And here goes Dudley. So they're
this is not going to go well. This is going to be into Curva Grande.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, they're both on their roof.
Simtech. Oh, it's Daniel Wareham, I bet. I bet you that was Daniel Wareham. It was one of the Simtech cars. That was a wild.
Yes, it was Wareham.
My goodness.
My gosh.
It's like, well, you might remember the Clint Eastwood films, Any Which Way But Loose.
I do.
That's how. That is probably how I would describe tonight's racing. Every which way but loose. Yeah, like you get in you hit the barriers, you get T-boned. You know, it's like right turn, Clyde, bang. Here we have a bona fide battle for the race lead. Now,
4-car battle
is leading. Yep, Sean Atkinson, Matt Benson, Alan McCain, Joseph Lopez is about 7 seconds behind this. A lot of people have exited out of the pits. Connor Pink, Simon McPhee, Rick Wishon, Adrian Hadfield, Curtis Matthews, Egol Satiro. They've all spent at least 2.5 minutes down the pits. Daniel Wareham and Ryan Dudley, I think, have called time. They've gone like, yeah, that wasn't what I kind of planned for this evening. To get involved in skittles coming out of the Soplaveta Sud, as we now have Benson down in third, McCain in fourth. John Johnston actually is closing in on Joseph Lopez, who, in his own right, the 221, also runs in the Gale Best and Clark St James GT3 seat championship, which is actually going to take place, funnily enough, tomorrow night at Brands Hatch here on the JP Broadcasting Network. So plenty of action still to come in the next few days. So don't forget to do all that good stuff and like, share and subscribe whilst you're at it. Big thank you to everyone that's been watching along. Rick Wishon closing in on Simon McPhee, and they've got Connor Pink just in front of them. And Connor just keeping them at bay going through into Cova Grande. We are just at the 6-minute mark, so 19 to go. So we probably might, if we're lucky, we might get an addition. We might be at max 8 to 9 laps, as a little bit of bouncing on the suspension from Simon McPhee, as he's got Rick Wishon closing in on his 6th. This is the battle for 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yeah, back to the lead here.
Oh, this is going to be close. This is going to be now. We talked about. You can see in the background there. There's Lopez and Johnston. So these four seem to be working to way. You've got the two Simtech cars, line astern, Forster and Atkinson. Benson's really closed on in. Kane, I think, is just playing the safe card here. What I mean by that is letting himself not get too close, because one wrong move from one of the guys in front, he's got to react accordingly.
Yeah, I think that's his plan there, but the draft is pulling him right on up there, whether he wants to or not. But you know, again, you know, the oval part has not really been the problem. We've seen really no incident happen on the oval. They tend to be, when they're bunched up, it seems to be at that bump as you come out of the oval and get back onto the main straightaway.
Yeah, and now Atkinson has slingshotted his way past Forster. Benson holding in behind, staying in the wheel tracks as they go down the Rettofilio at over 130 miles an hour in top gear.
That will make Lynn. That will make Lynn happy.
That will indeed. She'll be on the edge of her seat, biting her fingernails to the quick, I'm sure, as they go through the Retrofilio Tribune. So this normally you'd see the cars go to the right and then to the left. Forster sticks his nose up the inside of Atkinson going through into Cova Grande. And Atkinson holds his line for the moment as they go into Della Roggia. Two Simtech cars could very quickly be side by side as they head into Della Roggia, and they are. Forster nips ahead, gets through, uses the quick side draft assist on Atkinson to retake the race lead. They head through the first of the two Lesmos as we ride on board on the roof cam with Sean Atkinson in the number 386 entry from the UK. So moved up from 8th to 2nd position. Matt Benson, winner of race 1, is definitely in with a shout here for taking a double race win here tonight. Rick Wishon has been passed by Simon McPhee in the battle for 7th. They've also got Connor Pink as part of the Two's Company Three's a Crown situation as Atkinson launches it over the sausage curves. 2 wheels on the left-hand side up into the air, does exactly the same coming out of Ascari or Bieloni, whichever you want to call it at this point. But that makes it effectively a chicane, really, because if it was the old 1965 layout, it would be just a left-hand kink called Curva del Violone. As now we go into Parabolica, and Benson looking rather menacing behind Atkinson, but Kane is coming back into this. It's having a flowing here, Jim, to be truthful.
Yeah, I think it's just the draft is, you know, they're using the draft to pass each other, you know, pretty much every lap somebody's swapping spots. Probably going to see Atkinson make a run right here.
Yeah, could also see Benson. Well, Benson's going to go low. Atkinson died down and realised finally that Benson was there, had to duck out of it. And look at McCain, he's also going to go to the inside of Atkinson. So, Forster leads, Benson now up into second. Atkinson very soon could possibly lose out to P3 if he's not careful, but he slots in front of Benson. Benson and McCain indirectly working together. The two teammates from Simtech, Forster and Atkinson, working together really, really well, but McCain knows he wants to be in contention for this victory. He has got to indirectly work with race 1 winner Matt Benson from Valhalla Motorsports, as now they go through the banking once again, and this time two Simtech cars starting to pull a little bit of an advantage over the two behind them. Gap between McCain and Lopez now stretches to 12 seconds. Onto the Rettifilio they go. Then a little bit further back, we've got the battle between Rick Wishon, Connor Pink and Simon McPhee. They are split by about a tenth and a bit. They are going to be 3 wide. Who's down on the low side? I think that's Simon McPhee. Connor Pink threading the eye of the needle in the middle. And that is Rick Wishon to the high side. Oh, there you see. That's the sight you don't see normally. They're going over the, what would have been the part of the Seraglio part of the circuit. But Connor Pink has got Rick Wishon to the outside. But and there is McPhee trying to look to see if he can between them. He was trying to do like Cole Trickle on Days of Thunder there, and it nearly worked. Kind of reminds me of the if anyone has watched Days of Thunder, but when Cole goes, "This one's for you, Harry," as he beats Russ.
Yes.
Now that's some movie trivia for you there, folks.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were about to throw it back to Stroker Ace there for a minute.
I could have done Ricky Bobby saying, if you ain't first, you're last, you know, that kind of thing. But McPhee now leads the battle for 7th position. Rick Wishon to the inside is going to nose ahead across the sector. 7 sectors round here at Monza Historic, so incredible close racing that we're seeing. We're nearly at half time here in race 2, 25 minutes, so probably end up we're coming up to completing very shortly lap number 4, so probably on course for 8 to 9 laps of racing as Connor Pink going into Della Roggia, going to send it up the inside of McPhee, using the curbing to his advantage, gets through and closes in on Rick Wishon. Meantime, the top 4, you can't separate them with an A4 sheet of paper, but Forster has started pulling away.
So speaking of Connor Pink right here, we've got him in the middle here. He was one of James's guests on the podcast this week.
On the virtual track, yes.
Yeah. Connor was one of the guests on there this week. So, which of course he's got a lovely wife at home who is very close to having a baby. She raced in our ladies race. I can think it was a Mother's Day thing. I don't exactly remember what it was, but yeah,
it was wives, partners, and mums, and
that was so fun.
I haven't watched that yet.
I would tell you what, I've never had more fun broadcasting a race than I did during that one.
Yeah,
we were laughing, cutting up. Look at this. Here he goes. Oh,
whoa!
What is he doing?
Matt Benson, careful. One wrong overcorrection with steering, and you will be harder into the outside wall of the oval quicker than you can say the word "Mamma Mia," and that'll be quick. But the top 4 separated by 4 tenths. Over the bump they go in a line. No one playing their cards quite yet. We're not getting to the point where someone might call blackjack at the minute, but it's getting invariably close. We are down to the final 11 minutes, and these 4, look how close they are. And Lynn saying, it was brilliant, need to do another one soon. I'm sure that if Mr. James Parfit enough, Lynn, he'll definitely oblige with that, but this is what you want. You want 4 equally matched cars with 4 different drivers of 4 different skill levels, all line astern. Into Della Roggia once again at full speed. And onto the brakes. down into around about 80 miles an hour in fourth gear. You can see the nose hunker down as they hit the brakes. Of course, these cars very much front mass heavy in terms of the fact that you've got the gearbox and well, you got the engine and the transmission pretty much headed towards the front of the car, but still very, very agile little pocket rockets are these GR86s. As at the moment, Forster having a lead, it's starting to expand a little bit. It's up to 6/10, but it's not going to stop the likes of Atkinson, Benson, and McCain from trying.
It's starting to expand. He's got almost 3/4 of a second lead. This is good stuff.
The three behind them are squabbling like three petulant children on the playground, battling for the last swing that isn't being used. And McCain, round the outside at Parabolica, that's going to expose his inside line to Atkinson, as Forster now has a lead of just over a second, nearly a bit of a swapping of paint there between McCain and Atkinson, but Benson is waiting in the wings. He's going to get a tow from McCain as they're going to go back into the oval. This is where we're going to see the speeds increase once again to over 135 miles an hour in sixth gear. Benson just bump drafting McCain as they are trying to go around the outside of Atkinson. Atkinson still holding on to second, but by a finger thread at the moment. Now down the banking, into the back straightaway. And basically pedal to the metal. It's all to the foot to the floor and four to the floor here in the Only Hands GR86 Challenge Cup. And this is where it could be the opportunity. McCain is going to get the lead. Benson up to second. They tied that to perfection at about 140 miles an hour in sixth gear, coming through into the final part of the final bit of banking on the oval before they have to deal with this bump coming up at sixth gear, 130 plus miles an hour. And then it's down the straightaway we go. And look, Forster is right back with them, and he's got back through for the race lead. And here goes. That's Forster, followed by Atkinson. McCain and Benson hung out to dry on the outside of the Rettifilo, heading into Curva Grande. This is incredible racing we're seeing from this quartet of modern-day sim racing gladiators here at the Temple of Speed at Monza.
Yeah, you can't ask for anything better than this. And it's going on all over. We got, several battles like this happening on the track. This is so fantastic.
Yeah, as the four leaders make their way through into the first of the two Lesmos. Oh, moment there for McCain. Could have nearly opened the door there for Benson to get through for P3. Other battles, still got the battle for P7 at the moment between Connor Pink, Rick Wishon and Simon McPhee. They're going through the banking three wide again.
McPhee.
Rick Wishon. Did you see how he nipped through on Connor Pink round the outside?
Yeah, and he sure did. And then you got Wisham. You got Simon McPhee down there on the inside was blinking hard.
Just look behind. You got Adrian Hadfield and Terry Atkinson. They're battling tooth and nail.
They are indeed.
Top 10. Then you got 12th and 13th, Victor Timothy and Igor Satiro battling away for P12. So there they are. Satiro's got the sky hook happening under the back bumper of Timothy. Down the straightaway. If anyone might have seen the film Speed Racer, possibly the actual live action film.
Probably not too many people. It was a bomb.
It was done by the same pairing that brought us the Matrix films, the Wachowskis.
Really?
So, yep. So, but Alan McCain has now got the fastest lap of the race at 3 minutes 7.915. He and Sean Atkinson have both done 3:07s. Atkinson's retaken the race lead in the meantime off Forster.
How about that camera shot, huh?
That was a beauty there, Jim. That was an absolute perler.
That
But
was
now
so
they are coming
nice.
down they are coming down the back stretch of the oval once again. We are about to hit 20 minutes, so we could be nip and tuck as to whether we go on to 1+1 more. Atkinson now leads ahead of Forster, so the two Simtech cars at the front end of the field are leading the way. McCain trying to go high and wide in the only hands livery car. Benson for Valhalla Motorsports. Oh, the two teammates nearly coming side by side. We are going to have, I think, after this, I think we might only have one more lap. So we've hit 20 minutes. We're getting closer and closer to that 25-minute mark, but Forster leads from Atkinson, McCain, and Benson.
Yeah,
How
I think.
close?
I'm sorry. I think it's gonna be this one and one more. You're right. Yeah.
So let's see. It is going to be that this will be lap 7, so penultimate lap. Effectively 50% of the way through, and this is where anything can happen. Three-way battle once again between Wishon, McPhee, and Connor Pink. Down through into the second part of the oval they go, and McPhee trying to go high and wide. Wishon in the middle, Pink to the inside. Connor Pink might get the run, actually. Yeah, looks like he's going to get that. So Connor Pink gets through. Will Rick Wishon be as brave as he was last time on the previous lap? Well, he's going to get a little bit of assist from behind, because there's Simon McPhee right on his back bumper at 131 miles an hour. Connor Pink absolutely stretching the rev limiter to the maximum in his GR86. So they will head into Curva Grande here on lap 7 out of what will be out of 8 races. There we go. Hi JPB says they're on Connor Pink's left front wing, and you can just see, oh well, it's all changed at the front again, because we are about to go on to the final lap between our top 4. Forster leading by 0.7 of a second, as that was a little bit wide coming out of the first Lesmo. Connor Pink loses 7th as a result of a mistake. He carried too much speed into that opening Lesmo, and Rick Wishon said, "Thank you very much, I'll take that all the way to the bank." Right, last lap, lap 8 underway. Who's got the biggest amount of intestinal fortitude? That's in other words, you can call that a 4-letter word. Starting with G, heading left. Guts. Who's got the biggest guts here at the moment? Well, at the moment, Alan McCain is leading. No, Sean Atkinson. Now it's 3 wide. Will it be 4 wide down the back stretch? Benson is playing his cards so close to his chest, he probably can't even breathe right now. Into the final part of the banking here on Monza Historic we go. McCain is going to get the lead. Benson now into second. They're both down on the inside line. The outside line might be preferable here for Messrs Atkinson and Forster. It's 3 wide for the lead as they come onto the Rettifilio for the final time. Oh, it was close. Benson nearly tagged the barriers on the right-hand side, but he managed to keep a hold of it. Matt Benson is definitely looking very, very racy indeed. So is McCain, so is Forster, so is Atkinson. It's 3 wide for the lead, heading into Curva Grande for the final time.
Wow. This is so good. I mean, where do you see 3 wide action around the whole track?
Now we got that Aroggia for the final time as well. Forster's going to be ahead of McCain. How's Benson going to factor into this? Will he go round the outside of Atkinson? Yes, he will. And now into the 2 Lesmos for the final time. Forster, McCain, and Benson. They're pretty much in each other's wheel tracks at the moment. But well, Forster, McCain, and Benson running out your top 3 at the moment. Atkinson losing a little bit of time. But we are going to see what's going to happen, because we have got the long run down Curva del Seraglio for the final time here on lap number 8 out of 8. Forster leads, McCain second, Benson looking for his second win of the night. He picks up the victory in race 1, but can he do something special at the last moment? It's going to be the run out of the final corner at the Parabolica. Atkinson, you might think at this point, with 0.6 of a second, he might be out of it, but I don't think so. McCain going to the outside on the run from Ascari down into Parabolica for the last time. Where's Benson going to put his car? To the outside goes McCain. That's going to open the door for Benson. Forster leads coming out of the final corner. It's going to be the run to the line. Benson switches to the inside. It's going to be 3 wide. Who's going to get it? It's Forster. Forster wins it by next to nothing. Forster wins it by 29 thousandths of a second. And Alan McCain makes it the top 3, covered by 97 thousandths. Sean Atkinson has to settle for 4th place, as there is a backwards looking Curtis Matthews.
Yes, he seems to wind him up on the last lap there. Both races.
Yeah, Joseph Lopez finishes P5. Well done to John Johnston, taking in the 6th position, having started in the penultimate spot on the grid. Connor Pink holding out at the moment, but it could be another photo finish here. A 7th, 8th, and 9th, especially with what we saw between Messrs. Forster, Benson, and McCain. But it's going to be through Parabolica we go here for one more time. And it's about who's going to get the best run. McPhee trying to go very, very wide through Parabolica to carry the speed through. And look at the tactics from Connor Pink. He knows he's got 7th in the bag. He takes P7 ahead of Rick Wishon. It's Simon McPhee rounding out your top 9. Got a little bit of a wait for some of our other drivers. There's still some battles going on. Adrian Hadfield, and there's a bit of afters there for Connor Pink. Oh.
Yeah, Curtis was sideways in the middle of the track there.
Well, 10th goes the way of Adrian Hadfield ahead of Terry Atkinson. And then we still got Victor Timothy and Egil Satiro. Terry Atkinson loses it. And look, it was a drag race across the line. Satiro gets clipped.
I think Curtis is trying to wreck him out there.
Curtis.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, I think he was just like saying, hey, I'm like the Hinkelstein at, if anyone might remember Spencer Stott. Oh, dearie me. Oh, what can you...
he was...
Oh, Curtis.
Yeah, he was waiting to cause grief.
Yeah, he just thought, yeah, let's have a bit... I'm going to have a bit of fun after this. And then...
he's
going to do his... oh, well...
You know, I've seen somebody do this after the race, but I guess everybody's across, so it's okay. There was a car left on the track when the guy did this, and it got him DQ'd.
Curtis, you might be under the wrath of race control, but never mind. However, we have got a couple of drivers. I think we'll probably end up speaking to see if our overall top 3 coming. We have got...
Let's get our results real quick if you want.
Yeah, let's get the results. Race 2 was decided by next to nothing. 26 thousandths was the winning margin between Dan Forster from Simtech and Matt Benson, who was on course for a potential double bubble here tonight, here at Monza Combined Historic. Alan McCain rounds out the top 3 ahead of Sean Atkinson from TSD Liveries. Joseph Lopez, John Johnston, 2 of the highest movers in the grid from 11th and 17th respectively, rounded out the top 6 ahead of Connor Pink. Rick Wishon, Simon McPhee, Adrian Hadfield, Terry Atkinson, Victor Timothy, Egil Satiro, Lee Martin, and Curtis Matthews being the last couple of drivers to finish. No Daniel Wareham and Ryan Dudley, unfortunately, did not get across the line. Now, I'm just going to remember, I think, if memory serves me correctly, Joseph Lopez is our winner in, I think, if Pink, well, from what I'm seeing on the yellow is pro, pink is am, if I remember correctly. So
that is correct, yes.
So what we'll do is we'll bring in, first of all, our race winner. Hopefully he's not mid-chat, but let's bring him in. Dan Forster, How close was that after 25 minutes? That final race was insane.
Yeah, it was pretty close at the end. There, I couldn't believe what this scoring board was telling me, because to me Matt was slightly ahead, but I know it goes off the middle of the car, not the front. So I mean, if it's down to that, it's a photo finish and a half. So yeah, I didn't know if Alan was pushing him or not, but he says he wasn't, because I don't know. We just got a good run out of that corner. Yeah, it was exciting for the last corner of the last part of the race.
Yeah, it was 3 wide between the three of you. 3 wide.
Crazy.
Literally, not 26 thousandths between you and Matt, and then it was 97 thousandths between you, Matt, and Alan.
That was crazy. That was crazy. I know we were all going for it, but yeah, to come down that close after 25 minutes is pretty good.
I think one of the things that
I think I was lucky.
I think whoever was going to be the winner for race 2 would say exactly that, because it was a great race. I mean, the strategy with a longer race, especially when you've got this very long circuit where you pretty much are full throttle. I think apart from going through into the Lesmos and into Parabolica and also the Vialone Ascari complex, you're at full throttle. I think for probably the best part of 5.5 miles.
You are, but you do. Weirdly, for this track, you have to watch out where the wind is going, because you're either full revs in 5th gear or you go up to 6th. But there's times when you feel like you're in 6th and the car's telling you want to be in 6th, but it's actually slower. So you need to be staying in 5th at max revs. And obviously that's not great for fuel. So that was another worry we had to deal with, was the fixed setup fuel going to be enough? And we only had 0.7 litres left at the end, so it was close. So yeah, it was more than just full throttle. It was managing gears, looking at the wind, and obviously the draft. You just can't get away from anyone. It's crazy.
But still, nevertheless, a 4-way scrap for pretty much the majority of the race, when we saw a lot of carnage, especially pinball wizardry on lap 1, race 1. Let's not talk about that, because I think it was more a case that everyone will be laughing about it more than words being uttered at this moment in time. But nevertheless,
there were a lot of words. There were a lot of words said in the Discord.
Yes, lots of words said. So we will plead the fifth, as they would say stateside. But congratulations on the win. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go, Dan?
Well, shout out to Sean for basically bump drafting me all the way around when he could have been fighting with me. So, fair play to him. And shout out to my wife and daughter and everyone else who's watching, and you guys for doing the broadcast. And thanks to Tanso.
Indeed. Well, we'll see you next week when we go to the Bend Motorsports Park for the next round. Have a good one, Dan. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Cheers.
So, big thank you there to Dan Forster. Let's bring in the man who could have picked up 2 wins, Matt Benson.
Hello.
Well, race 1 winner, and edged out by next to nothing. Probably the paintwork on Dan Forster's car. Like 26 thousandths was the winning margin. But that race, that second race between you, Dan, Alan, and Sean, was just absolutely mesmerizing. Like seeing you guys, like, having 2 teammates and 2 guys who don't normally run together. It's just sort of like who could get the upper hand on who. And it all came down to 3 wide across the line out of Parabolica. I mean, that was just madness.
Yeah, luckily after all the first race chaos, it was just Alan and I left in a call together, so we ended up in our spots and just both said, let's hang out, see what happens in the last lap, and then give it our all. So we both gave each other a little good luck call going through Ascari, and came out in P2.
But still, 2 good results: overall race winner for race 1 and runner up in race 2. Not a bad day in the office, wouldn't you agree?
Not too bad. Race 1 was a lot of fun, just seeing the chaos, and then saw the guys in 2, 3, and 4 all kind of grouping up and hoping they wouldn't pair up too much in draft coming up. But I saw the time coming down. Still had about 3 seconds left in the final turn, so it was a fun first and second race as well. So
brilliant. We've got the Bend Motorsport Park coming up next week. You looking forward to that one?
Can't say yes, but I'm sure I will be after running it. I haven't actually run too many laps there, so I'm gonna have to get some time into it this next week and see how it goes.
Brilliant. Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time in the post-race interview show. Who'd you like to give a shout out to before we let you go, buddy?
The family, of course, and Valhalla Motorsports, of course, sporting the beautiful livery, and thanks to the SimTech guys, and of course Jake himself for sponsoring this season. And thanks to y'all for the broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Matt Benson from Valhalla Motorsports. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it,
at
guys.
the
Thank you.
end at Motorsports Park. Right. Okay. Let's. I was just going to say, I was wondering who was rustling there. I found out it was you, Jim.
It was
never
me.
mind.
It was me.
Let's bring in a man that competes not just in this league, but is going to also be in action tomorrow night for the Gale Best Clark St. James GT3 season, which heads to its penultimate round tomorrow night at Brands Hatch. In Joseph Lopez. Joseph, an evening of two halves, I would say, wouldn't you agree, for both races?
Yeah, the first one didn't work out so well.
No,
I was alone in both of them. So
I know, but still, race 2 definitely went a heck of a lot better than race 1, didn't it?
yeah, I don't know how I got through that wreck at the beginning. That was crazy.
But still, you managed to pick up a class win in race 2. And I think it was yourself, John, and Connor that ended up running out the top 3. I mean, you managed to take advantage of other people's misfortune in race 2 and had a pretty good settled race. Not too much to speak about there, but it's still good, solid points in the AM side of things, isn't it?
Yeah, it didn't work out the way I thought it would, but worked out real well. So
yeah, and of course we know that we'll see in action tomorrow night. I would imagine for the Gale Best and Clark St James GT3 7th round, which will be heading to, I think, Brands Hatch, if I remember correctly, tomorrow night. So, but congrats on the AM win. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife who watched the race, and also to my dogs, Poppet and Snoodle. Snoodles is a 100% Dachshund, so Dachshund. So there you go.
Awesome.
And
there we go.
And
Joseph.
the Zoomies livery. We love the Zoomies livery.
Yeah, I got Snoodles on the side and Poppet on the hood. So
there we go. We'll see them in action tomorrow night. Joseph, well done on the win today in race 2, and we'll see you tomorrow night for GT3 Gale Best and Clark St James action at Brands Hatch.
all right, have a good one.
Okay, last but by no means least, let's bring in Mr. McLaren Tribute Livery Band, as I like to call him now. Connor, good evening.
Evening, how you doing?
Not too bad. Race 1 didn't go too well, did it, buddy?
Oh, no. Was there even a race 1? I think I drove around by myself for about 20 minutes. So yeah, no, not great.
But still managing to pick up a P3 in this second race, despite all the carnage.
It was P3, was it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
P3 in your class, so you finished behind Joseph and John. So not a bad finish to round off the night, wasn't it?
No, not bad at all. Seeming I spent 2.5 minutes in the pits in the second race as well. So yeah, it's not bad.
But of course, we know each other from the from the GT3 side of things. Are we going to see you in action at Brands tomorrow night, my good friend? And how's the family doing? Are they all well?
Yeah, so sadly, I think tonight will be my last race. I wasn't even going to do tonight, and then I saw the broadcast pop up on YouTube, and I was like, "Sod it, I'll do it." So yeah, I mean, Mrs. is due tomorrow. Stuff's starting to move along, kind of look like it's about to happen. So yeah, tonight's going to be my last race. I'll take a P3 in the AMS. That's a good way to finish it off. And yeah, I won't be doing any more racing for a couple of seasons, but I'll be back, and yeah, we'll see where we go from there.
Well, Connor, it's been a pleasure having you with us for GR86 and also for GT3s, buddy. So wishing you and your missus all the very, very best. And I know you'll still be watching, keeping a keen eye on people, but all the very best of luck. And we look forward to catching up with you in the not too distant future, my friend.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great jumping in with you guys, and been great racing with everybody in the TRG league. So, yeah, thanks for having me, and I'll see you guys again soon. I'll be in the YouTube chat. Don't worry about it. You
I'm
won't get
sure
rid of me
you
that
will.
quickly.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Connor.
Take it
care,
easy.
all the very best.
Cheers, guys.
Well, that really wraps up our live coverage here at the Monza Historic Circuit for the Only Hands GR86 Challenge Cup in association with Tanso Racing Group. Jim, carnage, chaos, pinball wizardry. What else can we use in terms of superlatives to describe what's happened tonight?
Some fantastic side-by-side door banging racing too. There was plenty of that to go along with all those things.
Yeah. So, folks, on that note, thank you so much for joining us here. This has been a JP Broadcasting Network production. You've been in the company of myself, Alex Goldschmidt, along with Jim Cunningham, who's also not just been our colour commentator for tonight, but also been providing the wonderful images you've been seeing here at the Monza Historic Circuit. Of course, don't forget, same place, same time, in just 7 days, we return here for Only Hands GR86 Challenge Cup action, but we'll be heading to a land down under as the Ben Motorsport Park in Western Australia will host the next round. Still plenty of action to come up on the JP Broadcasting Network in the coming days and weeks, but obviously for those wanting a bit of a fix now, you can also head over to catch the action as it happens live, because we've got IGP Fun Super Formula Lights Season 3 Round 2 at the Red Bull Ring coming up this week. We'll also have the likes of the Gale Best, Clark and St James GT3 Season 7 Round 7 that'll be taking place just tomorrow night, funnily enough, at the Garden of England Brands Hatch Grand Prix. And on that note, well, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, like here at Monza, you better go flat out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night.